Ohio. Detective Inspector Tom Mallory, soon to be Detective Chief Inspector, when the odious DCI Dennis Eccles departed for his new position at Constabulary Headquarters, was busy catching criminals and generally keeping the peace in the English county of Suffolk. Tom had hinted at a ring, rather mysteriously, I thought, but had yet to produce one. Not that a ring mattered to me in the slightest. What did matter was the question of our future domestic arrangements. Tom owned a lovely period farmhouse in the nearby village of Saxby St. Clair. It came complete with a thatched roof, an inglenook fireplace, an aga cooker, a beautiful garden, and a mother-in-law, Tom's mother Liz, who, I suspected, was still plotting my overthrow. Buckingham Palace wouldn't be big enough for the two of us.
"Come on, Angie,"
one of the younger women called over her shoulder. Angela jogged up to join them, her short tulle veil bouncing behind her. By the time we reached the rectory, we'd segued into girls just want to have fun. Even Vivian, not famous for frivolity, joined in. We tumbled, laughing through the door to find a table spread with homemade French macarons, individual raspberry cheesecakes, and tiny heart-shaped petit fours decorated with pink frosting roses and a toothpick flag saying, "I do." Later, after the tea and sugar kicked in, the mood turned nostalgic as the young women told stories about Angela's days at university and peppered her sister with questions about pregnancy and childbirth. Angela was showing her ring around for the third time when Poppy, her best friend and former roommate at Leeds, took the empty chair next to me. "Your turn sooner here," she said, giving me a lopsided smile. Poppy was a tall girl with an angular face and a long-standing boyfriend who, according to Angela, had so far shown no sign of moving the relationship forward. "I don't know about soon," I said honestly. "Tom and I are still making plans." "Angela told us how you and Inspector Mallory caught that killer last Christmas, but she never explained what you were doing in Long Boston." "No mystery. My daughter reads history at Oxford. She was one of the interns at Finchley Hall over the holidays. She invited me to stay with her for a couple of weeks." "Is that when you and Tom met?" "Actually, we met a month before that in Scotland." "In Scotland?" Poppy sighed. "How romantic." "I was married to a Scot. He died 4 years ago. I went to the Isle of Glenroth to visit his sister. She owned a country house hotel there. Tom happened to be staying." "The Highlands." Poppy sighed again. "Was it love at first sight?" "Something like that." I decided not to tell her about the brutal murders, my own brush with death, and how for a time I had suspected Tom was the killer. Poppy's eyes looked slightly glazed, and I wondered how much she was taking in. She covered a yawn.
"Has anyone ever said you look like Charlize Theron? When her hair was dark, I mean. And of course your eyes are blue instead of green." "Kate, dear." Lady Barbara approached us. "It's rather late for the senior set. Time Vivian and I were tucked up in our beds." "Of course. Let me say goodbye to Angela and Hattie." No, you stay and enjoy the fun. Vivian will see me home." "Actually, I'm ready for a good night's sleep myself." That wasn't quite true, but with Lady Barbara's failing eyesight and the slight unsteadiness I'd noticed in Vivian recently, no way would I allow them to trek through Finchley Park alone in the dark. We gathered our belongings, thanked Hattie for the boxes of goodies she'd packed up for us, and said our goodbyes. We followed the gravel path through St. Ethelric's graveyard. Above us, the sky was a deep inky blue. The nearly full moon glowed like a giant baroque pearl, lighting our path. I let the older women walk ahead of me so I could keep my eye on them. They were giggling like schoolgirls, which made me wonder how many Pims they'd downed at the Arms. Something purple caught my eye. It was a sock, in a shoe, attached to a leg. A man sagged against a headstone. His chin rested against his chest. "Stop!" I called out. "Someone's ill!" Crouching, I placed my